So, last year in March, I did a video ranking my personal favorite Marvel Legends Wolverine figures leading to the hype of the Wolverine 50th anniversary line. Now, for March of this year, I'm doing the same, but with Spider-Man leading into the hype of the Maximum Spider-Man release. Whether the reception is positive or negative, there's still hype around it despite being polarizing in the community. It's dropping within the month of April. I know it's already in people's hands internationally. But until I get it in my hands, let me entertain you with today's video. What up everyone, it's your man Xman87 here, bringing you another Marvel Legends video. And what I have for you today, I'll be ranking my top 10 personal favorite Marvel Legends Spider-Man figures, suits only. Before we get into everything, if you could please leave a thumbs up, like, rating on the video. It'll help show your support for my channel and I greatly appreciate it. Now, I know this is a video that so many of you requested me to do for years, especially since you guys know I'm very critical of Spider-Man figures, as my expectations are always high for him because being Marvel's top hero, Hasbro should make it their priority to make sure he's always the best figure made. But they don't a lot of times and get lackadaisical with a handful of them. That's my guy in Marvel, so I expect nothing but the best for him as the face of Marvel. Just a heads up, my one rule in this video is Hasbro only figures, no Toy Biz. Spider-Man suits only, not other villains or female spider type heroes. So our Peters, Miles, Ben Reillys, etc, you get the point. Also, I gotta let you know because people will get it twisted like my last Wolverine ranking video. This is not going off the best Marvel Legends Spider-Man figures. That's just way too subjective to even measure that out. This is strictly my personal favorites. Again, let me put more emphasis on my personal favorites. So it's the ones I resonate with the most, whether it was one that I had in a memorable point of time in my life that has a ton of sentimental value, or from a cartoon, a video game, or just one of my personal favorite costumes ever. So now you know, and let's get into some honorable mentions. Not everyone here pictured as an honorable mention, but let me call out my main ones. Cosmic Spider-Man, very underrated with one of the best looking decals on a figure. Give me pearly whites and metallic blues on a Cosmic figure and I'm drooling. 3 heads but no hands. One of my favorite Spidey costumes ever. I remember choosing this costume almost every time in the very first PlayStation 1 Spider-Man video game back in 2000. Love it. Spider-Man 2099 white suit. This was the introductory of this buck and for some reason got dubbed the Sunfire buck when this was the very first in 2016. Sunfire came out a year later in 2017. Anyways, they don't make metallic red paint like this anymore. Normally it fades to pink within 5 or so years and it's been 9 years going strong and still solid like the first day I purchased it. You love to see it. And lastly, the comic Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man. The teen body was something needed in the line, and this, along with the other Ultimate Spidey, brought it. Sadly, they haven't done much with it, but a great figure nonetheless. Top honors will be named at the halfway mark, so with these out of the way, let's get ready to count down! Kicking things off at the number 10 spot is Cyborg Spider-Man. This is one of the most underrated Spider-Man Marvel Legends. Wish they got more love, but then again, it's also Hasbro's fault for not putting much love into it either, as he's missing a lot of the stitching that's supposed to be stitched around his suit. He could have used more accessories, as the web strand and only one regular alt hand wasn't going to do. Should have included an alternate Cyborg hand too. Damn, I gotta fix those warped legs here. Why I hate pins. Pins are so last decade, man. Should have been pinless. However, this suit just brings me back to my childhood with the vintage Toy Biz Cyborg Spider-Man being one of my favorite Spidey figures as a kid. This costume has like the key to my kid heart. A solid job with the layering on this buck, like the bandage wrap, utility belt, the shoulder pad for the cyborg arm. The cyborg arm came out great. I like the bulk of it, but would have been better with a metallic coating. The head sculpt is superb. I'd like to see an update to this one day, but for now, I'm just happy to have one. At the number 9 spot, Sensational Spider-Man. One of the dopest Spider-Man suits out there. This was the upgraded version back from the 2015-2016 one in the Absorbing Man Build-A-Figure wave. That one had the swappable Spider Carnage parts, which can still work here despite the different blue tones, but I'd rather have a Spider Carnage standalone figure. Anyways, this upgraded version is the best looking Spider-Man figure on the retro body, methinks. Maybe Symbiote? I don't know. All I know is that I really love this one, and I just wished it was pinless so the red pins don't stick out at the knees. I see that update being done quickly to this one as it's such a popular costume. Solid paintwork. The red and blues remind me of the comics version. Not too bright, but not too dark either. He's got a sweet looking head sculpt too that can work for other Spidey figures. Yeah, I just love this one so much it's in the front of my shelf of spider suits. At number 8, I have the Secret Wars Symbiote Spider-Man. I can go back and forth with this or the retro Symbiote one, but this Secret Wars one is near and dear to my heart. I remember working my ass off to buy a graded comic cover of Secret Wars issue number 8 when I was younger, working my first ever job. I'll admit that I like how the symbiote suit looks better on the bulkier retro body, but I'm just a big fan of the Amazing Fantasy Buck here. And again, pure nostalgia to that comic cover and a great homage to the vintage line with the lenticular coin. Alternate heads and hands and solid paint coating on the symbiote logo made this an easy buy for me. The symbiote Spider-Man is my favorite alternate suit of Spider-Man, like all time. And once we get that McFarlane symbiote version for a maximum Spidey redo, that'll be my main symbiote suit on my Legend Spider suit shelf. Number 7, the Spider-Man Mark 1 armor. Tell me you're a 90s Spider-Man kid without telling me you're a 90s Spider-Man kid. This is me pretty much telling you that by showcasing this one on my list. It's one of my all-time favorite alternate costumes of Spider-Man. What's crazy is that they didn't even do the comic version, as this one is the Gamerverse version from Spider-Man PS4, and I'm totally fine with that, as it came out to be pretty freaking awesome. I pointed out the differences in my review, so I'm not going to go over that here. I love the texture detailing throughout, and then they painted all of the armor completely in metallic silver, which is something Hasbro cheaps out on a lot, as they like to use that, you know, the metallic plastic molding and mix it with some metallic paint here and there to budget, but I'm so happy they didn't cheap out with this. This thing pops tremendously in photography. The very strong sculpting and paint are the winners here, and when we get that combo on any figure, we all win as collectors. Decent articulation with alternate hands and some web splatter effects, it really makes for a fun displayable Spidey figure. At number 6, Spider-Man Unlimited. Okay, I had a rule that I wouldn't include any new Legend Spider-Mans released this year on this list. I originally had Cosmic Spider-Man penned here, but I just couldn't help it as this was a top 5 most wanted Spider-Man suit for me. I think me and my good friend Mr. Jones were the only ones clamoring for this Spider-Man Unlimited figure to be made in Marvel Legends. I had this on my Spider-Man suit wishlist video I did a couple of years ago. I love the cartoon. Just like Cosmic Spider-Man, it was one of my main costumes from the Spider-Man PlayStation 1 video game, and I just had to put it on here because I never thought it would ever get made. I love the sculpting, but it's just missing that strong cell shading to make it stand out, which I don't know why they didn't do it, as they nailed it with that animated series Daredevil. The lens should have been a little more narrow and not too wide. Should have had a pearly white decal on the lens too. One more thing, he should have had the upgraded torso, but the all-around new sculpting is just superb. Don't expect the Mafex one, as they don't have the rights to Spider-Man Unlimited. Obviously, you guys know I have insight in the business, and I was informed by my insider that only Hasbro has the rights to the Spider-Man Unlimited cartoon. That's just what I heard, so take it with a grain of salt. Unless things change, don't rely on a Mafex version. Beggars can't be choosers here, so I wasn't going to miss out on the only opportunity to get a Spider-Man Unlimited figure. I needed to have this. Time for top honors, and I'm giving it to Spider-Punk. This was such a fun figure. The vest, the sneakers, the spiked mask, the deco made for a really good looking figure. Yeah, the Pizza Spidey Buck is outdated, but it did look the part for it at the time. Hoping for a good updated comic version of this, as I don't do the movie ones anymore. Also, the guitar and the guitar hand gestures just adds more fun to pose, play, and display. Probably my favorite Spider-Man figure I ever photographed. Counting down to the top 5, at number 5, I have the Spider-Man Miles Morales PS5. This was my favorite Gamerverse figure back in 2021. I mean, the default one that you see here is the 2023 version from Spider-Man 2 PS5, but still the same thing. Only real difference are the red striped arms. Anyways, I love that game, which had a thrilling story and clever gameplay. Insomniac Games did a beyond spectacular job modernizing Miles' original costume by staying true to the design. The figure showcased it very well with all the detailed textures and stellar paintwork top to bottom, which I was happy to see because the Spider-Man PS4 Advance suit didn't have that. Hasbro even came out with this camouflage version around the same time to coincide with the default one, which was so damn cool in the translucent blue, and I just had a blast photographing it as it took me back to the gameplay of when I strategically used my stealth combat. I love it when we can get a figure that showcases a character's power set. Lots of accessories included for both of these. I love seeing these two on my Gamerverse shelf. It's my favorite Legends Miles figure to date, and I can't picture my Gamerverse shelf without it. Number 4, the Pizza Spidey. The Pizza Spidey will forever be iconic in the Marvel Legends line. I know what you see here isn't the exact Pizza Spidey from the 2015 Hobgoblin Build-A-Figure wave, but it is my favorite one on that book, which is the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Raft set that came out the following year in 2016 based off McFarlane, as I always wanted an updated McFarlane version at the time, which is why it's my favorite version on that book. McFarlane Spider-Man is forever my all-time definitive Spider-Man. It didn't have alt hands, but there are other hands you can swap with that matches the same color tones. So I gotta put Pizza Spidey up there high on the list because, again, it's just so iconic in the line. Regardless, both of those classic versions on the Pizza Spidey were awesome. And yes, I'm very well aware that this book is extremely outdated, but I cannot deny nor lie that Pizza Spidey was just the most fun I've ever had with a Marvel Legends ever. I mean what I said and add multiple exclamation marks at the end of that. It was non-stop playtime with this, from using it the most in photography, posing it in my office, or anywhere in my house. I would end up grabbing it off the shelf at the most random times to mess with it. It was just so memorable, seeing the whole community fall in love with it and sharing all of our pics on every social platform. Man, those were great times. This figure was attached to my hip. It went with me everywhere. From the hype of its first ever reveal to when collectors got it in hand, people couldn't put this figure down for years. Do me a favor and take the time to think and take yourself back to that time, bro. It was nothing but feel-good moments. In my opinion, the most legendary Marvel Legends from the last decade. At number 3, Scarlet Spider. While I like the Renew Your Vows book, I'll admit that it's a little overrated. But my god, man, does it look perfect on Scarlet Spider more than it does on any other figure that features this book. I mean, they should have introduced this buck first for this figure back in 2022. But hey, it's all good because it looks so right on this that the newly layered parts make it look like a brand new figure. It's just crazy as it doesn't look like Renew Your Vows to me at times. Only when I see that neck gap, which I hate so much. But when it's posed, and it looks so alive. Seriously, this is one of those Legends figures where I feel Spider-Man comes to life in figure form. 3 sets of hands to play with, which should always be bare minimum for Spidey figures, and it's enough to give me the play value I need from it. The Ben Reilly Scarlet Spider costume is near and dear to my heart. Easily top 5 Spidey costumes for me in my opinion, and if you were to tell me that this is the greatest Marvel Legends Spider-Man figure of all time, then no argument here. At number 2, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. I was debating which Marvel Legends Spider-Man figure is my favorite in his classic suit. I thought about the retro, Renew Your Vows, Pizza Spidey, etc. But if I had to pick my favorite figure that looks best in his classic suit, then it's without a shadow of a doubt the Spider-Man and his amazing friends. I think this is the perfect build for Spider-Man because it just reminds me so much of John Romita Sr.'s art with that same sort of physique and stature, which again, it's why I'm a big fan of the Amazing Fantasy book. He has the most perfect red and blue color contrast out of any Legends Classic Suit Spider-Man. Lots of hands, and I even used the gripping hands from Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man for web slinging poses since the color tone matches. He's just so much fun to pose. All he needed was toe joints. If they never made a classic Spidey suit again in Legends, I would have been perfectly content with this one. Since its release, this has been my definitive classic suit Spider-Man in my Marvel Legends collection. And coming in at the number 1 spot, it is Spider-Man PS4 Advanced Suit 1.0. Before anyone gives me shit as to why this is my number 1, remember I said this is my personal favorite list. I'll admit it's not the best Legend Spidey figure made, but that's not what this list is about. This is certainly the Marvel Legends Spider-Man figure that means the most to me because for so many sentimental reasons. If you guys know, then you know this was the very first figure I ever reviewed on my YouTube channel. This figure right here was the birth of the X-Manny87 channel. I never thought I would do YouTube, but when I got this figure in hand, I just couldn't help it, and I needed to put myself out there to talk about it. So if it wasn't for this figure, my channel wouldn't even exist. The game just meant so much to me. It was at a point in time in my life where I was seriously on my deathbed and on my road to recovery. That game gave me the strength and resiliency like Spider-Man to keep on fighting. I know it may sound cheesy to you and I don't want to get emotional, but just know it means everything to me. So when I got the figure, it was just so symbolic to me of when I rejuvenated, revamped, and rebuilt my life back together. So now that brings me to ask you guys, what figure means everything to you that got you out of a dark place? Doesn't have to be a Marvel Legends, but any figure. We all have that one figure that means the most to us. This one means the most to me. I know they didn't sculpt the design on his suit nor texturized it. The head sculpt is even wrong, but there's other heads to substitute for when you find the right one to swap with. But at the time, I just didn't care as I was having so much fun with it. Posing it, doing photography, filming it for my first ever review, which, my god, I heard myself and sounded so terrible. I was such a freaking noob, man. I made myself cringe hearing all the ums and uhs. Had to start somewhere, though. Ever since that review, it was crazy the amount of support that showed out to show me love with like 10,000 views in 1 week, where I just came from a small Instagram account of only like a few thousand followers. Then the rest was history, as now I stand at 26,000 subscribers and over 700 videos strong. Made me proud of what we built here together. So thank you for riding with me, and I love you 3,000. Ever since this legendary Spider-Man video game franchise started back in 2018, Insomniac Games created an instant classic, which is now one of the most iconic Spider-Man costumes of all time, and the white spider symbol will forever be synonymous with them. Best adaptation of the Peter Parker / Spider-Man duality ever portrayed in any medium, in my humbled opinion. Yuri Lowenthal's superior voice acting had the best range for the character that outshines any other actor that played the role in either live action, cartoons, or video games. But to get back to this figure, I'm still hoping that they make a more video game accurate version, as I wasn't pleased with the lazy approach on the Spider-Man 2 PS5 figure. I still think this one was a better value at $19.99 than that Advanced Suit 2.0, which was $34.99 with uneven hands. At least this had a set of evened out hands with the corny web strand, but still got the job done. The colors are better on this one too. Anyways, when anyone asks me what is my favorite Marvel Legends figure, I don't even have an answer to that, but I can tell you which one means the most to me, and it's this one. It just means everything to me. So that's why I rank this as my number 1 favorite Marvel Legends Spider-Man figure of all time. Now I kick it back to you. What are your favorite Marvel Legends Spider-Man figures ever made? Which would be your number 1? Also, which Marvel Legends Spider-Man figures coming out that you are most excited for? Maximum, Gamerverse, Symbiote, and Boricua Suit are definitely up there for me. Comment below, let me know, we'll chat about it. Thanks for watching another Marvel Legends video. Please follow me on Instagram if you haven't already at xman87. Hit the notification bell so you always know when my latest videos are up. Share and subscribe if you're new. See you on the next video. Peace.